This is a sports catastrophe production.
Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter W welcoming you to another Poker Players KW Club weekly recap basketball funk. So anyway, the three houses were ready to be built upon poker lies, sex, and videotape. Whatever you want. So anyway, in a very special Tuesday night edition of the Firefighters slash I apologize. I forgot to write down what they were known as. Gotta pull up my freaking Google sheet. The Rounders Group, aka Poker on Fire. So, of course, the knockout stats that you saw last week in the KO sport is incomplete because the first week never saved. So I don't know how many knockouts they have. And I think that does actually contribute to the fact that, remember, the top six out of the Rounders Group of 11 people are in to the final tournament without having to go through the wildcard shit. Unfortunately, Rounders suffered gratefully. They lost 5 people because of no-shows. The no-shows were, ironically, no-show sales, who actually did okay. Like, he got 10 points week 2, and then week 1 he had 5 points. So he had no points, so he did his thing. Jeff Palmer, after playing in the first 2 weeks, missed week 3. DeGos had 2 points in week 1, and then the other 2 weeks he's been missing, so he's better produced somehow. Poker Pat, oh, no, sorry, not Poker Pat, excuse me. GBKW didn't play, even though he has a 16 and a 6, and no Shank. I wonder if he remembers he has played poker. Anyhow, so it was down to 6 players. The lowest point total would be 10 points for 6th, 12 for 5th, 16 for 4th. No, that can't be right. No, sorry, 8 for 6th. Fucking knackers cutter. 8 for 6th, 10 for 5th, 12 for 4th, 16 for 3rd, 24 for 1st, and 20 for 2nd. So, I managed to finagle my way into seeing the final table of this event. Well, the only table, as it were, and I made my notes and all that. Thankfully, though, I didn't get kicked away. I just said that I was here for stats purposes. So anyway, the 6 players. I am 2D, and I know I sleep in my head. He was the first one to suffer. He took 6th, but thanks to Poker Pat's victory of having three jacks compared to 2D's 2 pairs, Poker Pat eliminated 2D, and he only gets 8 points. That's actually the lowest total he has right now, after taking 12 and 20 points in weeks 1 and 2, respectively. Then came Dwayne the Newfie. Number 1 Newfoundland took 5th place. He got taken out thanks to a kicker, thanks to Baden Poker. They both had kings, but Baden had the ace kicker. So Dwayne got kicked into oblivion and will take only 10 points. Wings, after winning last week, looked like he was going to repeat, but no, he didn't. Wings ended up taking 4th place with 12 points, being taken out by Derek J., who put up a pair of queens, and Wings didn't have a pair at all. Didn't have a wing and a pair, not a wing and a pair. Anyhow, Wings went out. Then Baden Poker was taken out in 3rd place thanks to a 5-9 straight by Derek. Derek had a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight. So that means Baden Poker went down. And it was down to Derek and Poker Pat without his cat. And Derek would end up winning the event, winning with 2 pairs. Both Derek and Pat had queens, but Derek had those 2 jacks, and poof. Derek Kachi. So Derek, after taking 2nd place in week 1, won week 3 and did pretty well. Poker Pat actually took down Derek J in the final, the heads up in week 1, but now in week 3 he won. So the tables were turned, And Baden Poker for the second consecutive week took third place, taking the bronze. So after 3 weeks, the point totals are thus. Derek J with 61 points has the lead. Poker Pat has 49 points. He had a terrible week 2 showing, so he's second. Wings is third with 47. Todd 2D is fourth with 43. Now remember, knockouts also count within the point total. And after that, I think it's Dwayne and GBKW who are in the top 6 that will automatically make the finals. Now, of course, a cautionary note is that, remember, the top 4 producing results. You produce 4 good results out of 6. The lowest 2 scores get knocked off the table. You don't want to have 3 zeros because you have to carry a 0 into the point total. So that's just what it is. So unofficially, the knockout leader is Derek J with 5 through 2 weeks of stats knowledge. Wings and 2D has 3 each. Baden Poker with 2 and Poker Pat with 1. So things are afoot. But, Derek J and all that. I know there's a similar Derek J that's an icon in some sort of field. I think the haircutting field, if memory serves me right. But anyway, he's styling and profiling like Ric Flair. Woo! So that's the end of that house. This is recap. Now on to the second house, the main pot, aka straight to the final table. Now, I was told that the top 6 would make it in with 8 people, but, I was wrong. Thank goodness I'm like, the numbers are wrong. And I apologize for leading you guys along. So the top 4 get to the finals, where the other 4 have to go through wildcard. There was only one no-show of the 8 people, and that was Torbay, who took second place last time in week 2. However, Torbay did say that he forgot all about it. But, that 0 will work because, he can take that 0 to the final table. He doesn't have to take that 0. If he can score points in the next 3 games, then that 0 will be taken away. Like, he will not have to worry about that. It doesn't carry forward. So anyway, it was down to 7. It was up to 7 people, if you will. I forgot to mention that the Dwayne House did their tournament in 1 hour 14 minutes. Well, with 6 people, I mean, it was easy to see. So anyway, the Strader group, had 7 people out of 8. They finished their 8-person tournament in 1 hour 42 minutes, which was very long, indeed. Now, of course, because the Straight group and the Gamblers, or the OG squad, aka my house, played at the same time, I obviously couldn't get the information I needed to. But this is how I did. I did as best I could. Mustanger took 7 and only got 6 points. Kind of disappointing because you got a pair of 7 places sandwiched around a 3rd place in week 2 for Mustang. Jeep Girl Michelle took 6th place. So she ends up with only 8 points. But she's been around there. 10, 5, now 8 for Michelle. Jimmer ended up taking 5th place. So he got 10 points, whereas he had 8 and 6 before. So he's middle of the pack as usual. Then it came down to the final 4. Once I got eliminated, then I could see the final 4. Streeter, the head honcho of the table, who had a 16 and a 24, who was aiming to win back-to-back titles. Back-to-back weeks, actually failed miserably. He got bit on 2 pair thanks to Craftworks. So he was out. So then it was down to 3 people. And Clicker, who had a 12 and an 8, actually put 16 points on the board in week 3. He ended up being clicked and kicked thanks to some Summers' heavy kicker. So it was down to the final table between Somber and Craftworks. Both had 2 eliminations in week 3 when they faced each other. So someone was going to have 3. And Craftworks actually pulled off a flush to avoid being eliminated by Sommer. And then again, he put up a flush to win against Sommer. And Sommer, who was looking for a second win in 3 weeks, actually got denied. Still 24, 12, and 20. That's pretty good. Whereas Craftworks, who surprisingly, just like the Dwayne table, actually was second behind the guy who won week 1, and then everything flip flopped. He has a 10-point thing to sandwich around it. So unofficially, the top 4 is like this: Sommer with 62 points, Craftworks with 61, Strader with 56, and then it's Clicker with 36. It's still anyone's game to get into 4th place, but it feels like right now the top 3 are almost iced. But remember, your top 4 results out of 6 counts, so you can win somehow. The unofficial knockout totals are that Craftworks has the most knockouts with 7. Not Jimmer. Sommer has 6. Streeter has 4. Mustang and Torpe have 2, and the others don't have a knockout. So, yeah. Great job. Revenge was Craftworks' name. Which brings us to the final house, the OG squad. The Gamblers. And the Gamblers had a lot of people show up. We had all but one person show up. Bri, for some reason, probably because of his kid's hockey thing, didn't compete. Now, it's a little controversial. Oh, and all that. I know that a lot of people will say this is sour grapes because the person who got screwed was my flesh and blood, that being my big bro. But here's what happened. So we were down to 9, and of course, we started with 9 people. McBitter was not playing at that time. And I was about to write a serial for McBitter, and then, with Brian not around. So we had 9 people. The worst part about it is that Edward, my big bro, was eliminated quite quickly. He got flushed by Rhythms. The guy, the OG, the main man in the house, Rhythms, aka Dan. So good old Dan was looking hot. Edward got flushed out. And then, as I was looking at the other stats, I find McBitter in the game, and I'm like, what the hell? McBitter made it under the late registration line. There's a certain amount of time that you could get in at late registrations. And somehow he beat the buzzers. That meant that he didn't have to take a serial. Little did we know this was controversial in a sense. Well, we'll get close to that later. But anyhow, Fat Cat Tim got taken out in 9th place thanks to Krista's 2-pair Jackson 9s. So Fat Cat has not done so well. He has a 4, a 0, and a 4. He's got to improve all that. I mean, this guy won season 1, for God's sake. But he might be playing possum. But the noteworthy thing is that he has to take one of those 4s into the point total at the end because it's your 2 lowest scores. And he has 2 4s and a 0. 0 obviously is his lowest right now. But then John Hawkins, who was one of the key favorites, got knocked out. And look, I gotta look at the stats. Who did Hawkins fall to? Doesn't say. I don't know who took Hawkins out. Because I'm looking at everything and I don't see anything. Fuck, I don't know who took Hawkins out. But anyway, Hawkins went down. And then 7th place went to, Hawkins hasn't done too well. A 2, a 12, and a 5. He's got to improve. 7th place went to Master Keys 35, who took 3rd place in week 1, didn't show up for week 2 for reasons unknown. And then week 3, he just suffered. But the reason why is because he got taken out by Ryan, who got a pair of queens to Master Keys' tens. So that takes 7, so he's got 6 points. And then in 6th place was me. I was in the final 6, and then I got freaking KO'd by McBitter. He hit a freaking jack on the final card. McBitter rivered me because he hit a jack. If anything but a jack hit, I would have doubled up. But no, he just had to fucking screw me over. Bitter I am. Yes, I'm the McBitter, not Chris. And you know what the funny thing is? I'm the only one of the 3 houses to have the same results for all 3 weeks. 8, 8, 8. So one of those 8s will come with me in the point total, obviously, because, my lowest scores are 8. Like, can you believe it? I don't plan on this. I don't plan on getting 6th place every time. And all that. I know that top 6 go to the finals, but I need a high result. So after McBitter, then Ryan got KO'd in 5th place. He got kickered thanks to Rhythms. Rhythms flushed Hockey Dad. He took care of Fat Cat. Fat Cat. Oh, I think I mixed one of them up. One of the Fat Cat eliminations, Krista or Rhythms. I don't know who got him, but the other one must have been Hawkins, and I misspoke. But anyway, yeah, a kicker by Rhythms knocked Mr. Ryan out. Ryan has put up some, I think Humorous has done pretty well. 10, 20, 10. Okay, so not bad. And then it was down to the final 4, and Mikey got KO'd by McBitter. So Mikey, Mikey, 1977, didn't show up. He had 2 terrible weeks. He had a 3-point performance in week 1, nothing in week 2, and then he puts up 3rd place for 16. Alrighty then. And then it was down to the final. Oh, sorry. Rhythms went out in 4th place. What am I doing? I'm looking at my numbers wrong. Rhythms, the guy who was trying to look for a 3-peat, actually ended up in 4th place thanks to being knocked out. Who knocked Rhythms out? Who knocked Rhythms out? Oh, I think it was McBitter. Yeah, McBitter had 2 pair, kings and 8s against Tits' 8 pair of 8s and 3s. So Mikey took 3rd. Rhythms, well, he's got some points. He's carrying a 24 into it. And then it was down to the final 2. It was down to Krista, who improved every time by 1 position. Krista was doing pretty well. And McBitter, who actually ended up 2nd to Rhythms. It wasn't a Rhythms versus McBitter final heads up, but Krista ended up getting taken out thanks to a fact that she had 6 ace and McBitter had 8 ace. Obviously, 8's a higher card, so she ended up being knocked out. So, a brutal ending, if I do say so myself. So, Krista does have some good points. So, the point total for us in the House 3, unofficially, well, officially kind of, is that Rhythms is leading with 71 points. 2nd place is McBitter with 58. Krista 3rd with 51. And Ryan with 42. And then it's a dogfight. Me and Mastering Keys are right now in the position to get to the final group. But Mikey and Hawkins, Mikey's 1977 and Hawkins are close behind at 19, and 3 people have to ship up or shape out. Shape up or ship out. So anyway, the unofficial knockout totals are this. Rhythms has 11 for 1st. McBitter has 4 knockouts. Krista has 3. Master Keys has 3. Ryan has 2. I only have 1 knockout, and so does Everett. I just don't want to be just like my brother. I want to go over my brother and all that shit. I want to be better than that swarmy Senators fan. I know there's another Senators fan in our house, in the poker house, but anyway, I call Everett swarmy, not the other guy. Anyhow, so that's how week 3 shaped up. Will week 4 bring us more luck? It better freaking bring me luck, because I do not want to take 6th place finishes to the final table. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.